Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Police say he left a calling card on his victims. Chilling new evidence revealed in court as a Detroit man stands accused of being a serial killer. Victor.
They're calling it the road of the future, and coming up, you'll see how exactly it's expected to make Detroit the leader of yet another automotive revolution.
We're going to begin, though, with two breaking stories, both related to the coronavirus. First, the state reports a major spike in new cases, 1,123 over the past 24 hours, 604 more than yesterday, and the highest daily total we've seen since May.
We're also following breaking news involving the return to school. The Michigan Senate is calling a special Saturday session to tackle a very big question.
Mara McDonald live downtown. And Mara, the debate centers on forcing districts to offer an in-person option.
Well, Devin, there's a lot on the table in this special Saturday session, which is definitely atypical for the Michigan Senate. But you're right. One of the key things they're going to be talking about, should these school districts be mandated by the state to offer an in-person educational option for parents who want to send their kids to school, or lose funding if they don't? As it stands right now, Governor Whitmer is letting schools make their own decisions for fall. Some school districts, like Detroit, are already offering in-person summer school. Other districts, like Ann Arbor, have decided everything will be remote at the beginning of the year. What the Michigan Senate is set to do on Saturday is debate a number of school start-related issues, that in-person instruction mandate being one of them. But there are other issues as well. For example, how do you count school attendance when nobody is in school, seeing as attendance is the funding mechanism that drives how schools are funded? Time is of the essence here, so expect a package of bills related to school start to be sent to the governor after Saturday's session. Back here live, as it stands right now, it is up to each individual district how they want to tackle fall. Could that change after Saturday's session? Possibly, but I think the bigger issue that these districts and these parents need to consider is that if our COVID cases keep going up and the governor rolls us back to what she calls phase 3, that means all options are off the table and everything has to be remote. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
And Mara, one massive porcupine in this thing to try to handle is the funding mechanism. Are you getting, how do you do that in this time when people are either staying at home, going, maybe switching districts because another district offers something else? So what are you hearing about that?
So, you know, how they determine this, Devin, is what they call in-seat attendance, is your butt in the chair. Well, clearly that can't happen right now. So what does that look like? I don't know. But I can tell you this, after talking to several Lansing insiders today, they anticipate not a long, drawn-out session on Saturday, which leads me to think that they've got some sort of plan that they're ready and have discussed amongst themselves to push forward. Back to you.
And perhaps in the 36 hours or 48 hours before that happens, we might be able to learn a little bit more about what's in the works. We'll stay on it. All right, Mara.
Our other top story here at 5, a major announcement aimed to put the Motor City and the region at the forefront of autonomous vehicles.
A first-of-its-kind road specifically designed for self-driving cars is going to be built right here in Southeast Michigan, stretching from Detroit to Ann Arbor. Let's get to Victor Williams live tonight with a look at this plan and where they're going to put it, Victor.
Well, it's going to be on Michigan Avenue along with I-94, and what an exciting time to be alive. But this is all basically being done because we want to be at the forefront of yet another automotive revolution.
What may be the world's most sophisticated roadway will be built here in Michigan.
Governor Whitmer, along with other state and city leaders like Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan, all gathered right outside of the historic Michigan Central Station to talk about the new project that will soon allow autonomous vehicles to travel from Detroit to Ann Arbor, otherwise known as the Michigan Connected Corridor.
As the vehicles of the future are designed behind us, the roadway of the future is going to be built in front of us. Look at Michigan Avenue. It's got the width that we need.
The project will take place along Michigan Avenue and I-94. Construction higher-ups in the Motor City have been looking forward to for quite some time.
And today we're transforming Detroit Icon into a place of possibility and opportunity once again.
And as this project inches closer to becoming a reality, Detroit is back on the road to becoming #1 in the automotive world.
Michigan is the undisputed leader in the nation's automotive landscape. Whether that is building cars, improving infrastructure, or creating an ecosystem to solve the biggest challenges in future mobility.
Now the project is going to have to be done in phases, the first of which will be done 24 months from now. Reporting live, Victor Williams, Local 4. Back to you.
Victor, that is going to be so exciting to watch. All right. Now tonight, the defenders learning chilling new details of the case of suspected Detroit serial killer DeAngelo Martin.
It comes following an all-day preliminary hearing in court where key clues in the case were revealed. Defender Sean Lay is live tonight. Sean, police say there was a pattern with the victims.
Prosecutors also highlighting that pattern in court just moments ago. This whole thing lasted all day, just wrapped up before Judge Kenneth King, and Judge King just bound DeAngelo Martin over for trial on all 4 murders. Center stage of this case now, you could see forming in court today, is the signature prosecutors say was left behind, they say, by DeAngelo Martin at every scene.
Calling case 1960148. People versus DeAngelo Kenneth Martin.
Suspected serial killer DeAngelo Martin back in court, charged with the rape and murders of Annetta Nelson, Nancy Harrison, Travisine Ellis, and Tamara Jones. 4 women in their 50s. The defenders have learned in court documents that prosecutors say Martin allegedly left a signature, a serial killer signature in each case, giving police clues, leaving a victim's sock on, in many cases positioning each body face down with one leg positioned up, giving investigators a roadmap to go on, clues that one person was out there targeting women.
These women didn't just die because somebody murdered them, but they had their final moments in forceful sexual activity with the defendant.
Before Judge Kenneth King today, also taking the stand, Martin's former girlfriend. Emotional testimony. She says Martin would sexually assault her. Back here live again, Judge King binding Martin over on all 4 murders here. And Judge King even pressed prosecutors on a lot of the evidence that's been gathered from all of these different scenes. But at the very end, he says it was that signature that truly stands out, weighing heavily on his decision today. We're live downtown tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4 Defenders.
Okay, Sean. A Detroit police commissioner is now suing the city and police department after he was arrested at a meeting last year. Commissioner Willie Burton, you may recall, was at the center of this video. He alleges his civil rights were violated, that he suffered a concussion, and that there's been an impact on his political career following this arrest. Last July, officers arrested Burton after he wouldn't stop speaking against the use of facial recognition technology by law enforcement. Burton says he feels his arrest is personal proof of the need for police reform.
I was taken down to the ground. I was hogged off to jail, 2 sets of handcuffs, treated like a criminal for doing what? My job that the citizens of Detroit elected me to do.
We asked the city and the police department about the matter. Both have declined comment so far. The mantra from government and school leaders when it comes to reopening schools is that they want to follow the science.
But what does the science say about COVID-19 in children, and why isn't the answer clear? Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with 2 new reports on how many children get infected and putting those numbers into perspective.
Yeah, Kim and Devin. So, my mom always reminded me never to argue politics or religion. Oddly, I am finding myself saying the same thing about the science of COVID-19. The issue is that while there are objective numbers in the data, everyone has their own take on what it means, especially when it comes to the emotion of school reopening. Here are the numbers from 2 new reports.
A new study published in the Archives of Disease in Children found that between January and May of this year, children, defined as being under 16, represented only 1.1% of SARS-CoV-2 positive cases in Great Britain. In the same time frame, there were 8 pediatric deaths, representing a case fatality rate of 0.3%. Additionally, using historic mortality data, the authors were able to show that there were no additional deaths that might represent undetected cases of COVID-19. In the end, the authors concluded that, quote, "Our findings provide further evidence against the role of children in infection and transmission of SARS-CoV-2. The data from that study should be contrasted with a recent report from the American Academy of Pediatrics and Children's Hospital Association. Using data within the United States, they found as of August 6th, pediatric cases represented 9.1% of all SARS-CoV-2 cases in the U.S. Back in May, when the UK study ended, it was only about 3%. The reason behind the rise in the U.S. isn't proven, but experts have noted two factors: increased testing in children, even if they're minimally symptomatic or asymptomatic, and generally increased spread in the community in both adults and children in recent months. Even with increased pediatric cases, according to the data, children represented between 0 and 0.4% of all COVID-19 deaths in individual states, with 19 states reporting 0 child deaths. That's compatible with the CDC's data showing that compared to 18 to 29-year-olds, children less than 18 have a 9 to 16 times lower risk of death.
Now, it's really important to understand this is what we know right now, and it's highly likely that we're going to learn more to refine our opinion over time, especially, frankly, as schools reopen. The bottom line is children do get infected, not nearly as often as people over 18, and definitely not with as severe consequences. The real question is, how much risk is reasonable? Back to you.
Yeah, that answer remains. Okay, Dr. McGeorge, we appreciate it. And we know many parents have questions, struggles, and challenges as they work to make the best decisions for their children. And that's why Local 4 is holding an Education for All town hall tonight at 7 on clickondetroit.com. Devin and Paula Tutman will be joined by education leaders to answer your questions. And to make sure your voice is heard, please submit your questions right now on clickondetroit.com.
A lot of good ones, and thanks for all who've already sent them in. Much more ahead here at 5. Andrew is in for Ben tonight. Andrew?
And Kimberly and Devin, we have this, temperatures in the 80s and some beautiful sunshine here in Detroit and throughout southeast Michigan. What about Friday? What about your weekend? We do need the rain. We'll talk more about this and your full 7-day forecast coming right up.
Okay, Andrew, and you cannot let your guard down. A new warning from the Defenders tonight about tutors, what parents should be doing before letting them inside your home.
But first, the owner of a well-known Detroit funeral home charged with murder. Next.